Hello folks, and welcome to the gnarly adventures of Izzy. Yes. No. It's not what you think. I'm here to demonstrate some layout. How to build a layout for something like, let's say this 3GS keypad. Or whatever you want to call this, that you would normally find on an iPhone, an older iPhone. Alright, well then let's get started. So let's go ahead and remove everything. Oh, actually, let's keep the reference image and start all over, and then I'll add it later. This is not implemented yet. It's just there to as a reminder to add it soon. Basically, if anything outside of the camera should show something like this, where it asks to be reparented to something that it belonged to previously. If you drag an image or something else out of the hierarchy, it should in theory show this, and then ask if you want to reparent it to that when you hit play, or when the game plays or something. I don't know. We'll see. Experimental, might change. We'll see. All right, let's get started. Camera. All right, we already know that. Well, I already added a kissUI layer, so just typing kissUI, oops, something like that, and then come to the camera. If it's not already set, you could set it here, but if for some reason you already have children, like let's say this, and see the layer's not set. If you do it from here, what'll happen is it will actually set all the children in the hierarchy, going all the way down. So now this and anything else that you add here will have the layer already set for you. So that I thought that was pretty neat. Alright, so what's next? Let's first take a quick let's brainstorm a little bit how we should do this. Alright, so we see that we'll need I already see that I'll need one layout that basically goes across like this, and a second one that comes down like this, and then in this layout we'll have one here, and here. Alright, so how do we go about making that? So let's let me expand this, just in case you're probably wondering what's what. Alright, so layout. With the camera selected, I clicked layout, and it adds it. And it doesn't change the focus to the new layout, because I actually sometimes, well, most of the time, I want to keep on pressing these buttons here, so I can keep on adding more and more stuff. So it's just something that it's just a choice of mine. Alright, so layout, what does it look like? So what do we say we wanted? Well, first and foremost, let's go back to the camera, and if I if I remember correctly, the 3GS has has 320 width and 480 heights, right? All right. So I just hard coded it here. You probably don't have to do that. We'll try to make the GUI expand to fill. But just for reference purposes, we're going with the hard coded setting with the custom size. All right, so layouts. It goes all the way up, but we only need like halfway across almost, just to match it here. So how do I proceed with that? All right, so when you're not sure, just add in a group just to get a general feel of the spacing of the layouts. So that's that, and that's that. Alright, so I want to actually use this bottom portion, so that's this group. So I'll remove that and add my own layouts and put it back where that group was. Well, you're probably thinking, oh, I could have just added 2 layouts and then just deleted one and just gone with your business. Yes, you can do that. Just remember that groups are cheaper. If you use them, because layouts have rows and columns that has to process, and it takes a little more, a couple of more loops to do that. So just keep it in mind. Alright, so with the layout selected, now we want a bottom portion with the gray background, and the top portion, which has this darker gray. Alright, so do we need layouts for that? Yeah, let's go with layout. Let's go with 2 layouts, one for the bottom, one for the top. So let me rename this top for now, and bottom or body, I don't know, whatever you prefer. And let's rename this keypad maybe. This is the main layout, and this is just the space or filling. It's called filling. Whatever. Call it whatever you want. All right, so let's see about the top. When we resize or expand or whatever, which one would we rather expand or resize? I think the bottom portion, the body. So we want the top to always stay the same height. So let's go ahead and set it to custom size, and let me hold down Alt and then hover over the height label, and then just mouse wheel down, and it'll decrease the value, or mouse wheel up to increase it, but right now we want to decrease the value. So let's see, let's get in a little closer and see how high do we really want this. Okay, I think I'm gonna, for now, I'm going to actually set the keypad height something so it can match the top portion of the gray background. So let me Alt hover over and then mouse up over the label, the height label, and yeah, something like that. That looks good. Let's make it 250, because I don't like to to be stingy with the integers. All right. So now we can actually go ahead. We can do it here, or we can just it's snap to grid is on. Okay, let me disable that and just drag this since it's aligned to left bottom, we can't actually use the handle. Well, I shouldn't say we can't use it. I should say it's not apparent at first. Ugh, I don't like to use that word, apparent. But it's possible to actually set the size. The problem is that the body and such, the layout children are actually aligned to bottom left. So by default it doesn't show it here, but whenever you actually add children and such, it assumes a layout of bottom left, and possibly later down the road I'll experiment to see if I can do let's say top left, which will seem a little more natural. It's on my to-do list, but it's a lower priority. Why is it lower priority? I like to get used to using the bottom left, because that's where the position and the offsets and everything is based off of. So if you change your way of thinking having everything at the bottom left, you'll catch up to you'll be able to do stuff with later on with positioning and size and rotation and all that stuff that's dependent on 3D coordinates. So I'm kind of betting on users getting the hang of using the handles on in the corners like this, instead of having the handle here allow you to actually resize it. It's actually up here because of the expand to fill and alignments. You'll get used to it. It takes about a day, just to get the hang of it. And if you don't really feel like like stressing about that, just go ahead and do it here in the inspector. There's alternate ways to do it, so don't sweat it. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's add a background to the top portion. So image, and if I click on image, we can go here and we can set this particular image. Okay, first and foremost, if I add another image and a third image and a fourth image, they're stacking on top of each other. We don't really want to be stacking. We want it to be beside each other. So basically like this. So instead of like if you think of it like a table, instead of rows we actually want columns. So yeah, that's more like it. Alright, so and the other thing is, if an image is not set as a background for a layout, then it'll treat it as an actual child element, and it'll arrange them in its layouts. It doesn't matter which image you click on. If you want it to display it as a background, and you can have more than one image as a background, then you can layer the backgrounds if there's an effect of some sort that you're trying to do. But normally I haven't found a real need for that. So, and you can add the background anytime. So let me delete this and then highlight our top layouts and then add an image and say if the background. and you can do this anytime, and you can change its location anywhere, and it's not going to interfere with the actual layout of the actual children. Alright, so going from there. Alright, so let's flesh it out first and foremost, just to get the basics out of the way. So how do I make this right aligned and these give it some spacing between? Well, you can use group since it's the cheaper one, and just well, I like to call it pad, but yeah. And you just relocate it anywhere you need actual spacing to happen. You know, actually let's change the background, because it would help us actually see what's happening here. So let's go ahead and look at the top backgrounds. Okay, let's zoom in. Oh, maybe that's too much. Okay, so I just left click to clear the last selection, and I'll make my own selection now. Do I want that? Yeah, I think I do. You can zoom in again if you need to. It's too much. Alright, that's good. Oh, and you can use the middle mouse button, and this should probably go to the very bottom, because I don't need the bottom, because I'm trying. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it just so you can see what's happening. I forgot I can use the middle mouse and drag. Just press and drag without holding anything else down, and save. Okay, so now, okay, this is getting in my way. Where's the camera? Is it miscellaneous? Show mouse over in game info. No, I don't want it. Okay, that's better. Bye bye. So backgrounds. So as you can tell, padding, the group, wait, how do I show children? This is experimental. Try not to use this too much, because the more stuff you draw in the scene view, the slower, the more CPU usage you'll see. And try as much as you can to remove this after you've done setting up your layouts. Remember to remove these options here. Alright, so with this on, it actually shows that the actual lines as the children would have drawn them. So basically, not only are you drawing the scene layout outlines for itself, but also every single child, that immediate child of this parent. This top layout here. Sometimes it's handy. Sometimes this is just a mess. So you know, if you think you want something like this, so you can see like where padding is, then by all means enable that. So this way you can normally you have padding expand to fill, and the actual images you would actually size them to whatever width or height you need. Alright, so what do I want to do right now? Do I want to continue on with this, or move on to the bottom portion? Let's flesh it out just a little bit more. Alright, so let's move this up slightly, because I want to see what's happening here. I forgot. I haven't implemented it yet, but I am planning on having the user move images and stuff, but instead of it affecting the actual X and Y coordinates, it'll affect the offsets. So this handle here at the very bottom will light up and allow you to move, apply the X and Y offsets. Why is this handy? Because like this reference image here, I can change the offsets here. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay, I did something bad. Okay, the reference image. Okay, and here. Alright, so let me actually move this slightly to the left. Okay, there. Me likes. Alright, so top. Let's play around with the padding. So pad left, right, bottom, and top. Okay, there's supposed to be a tooltip that shows up, but sometimes Unity just doesn't like tooltips. Anyways, just take my word for it. There's a tooltip. Alright, so yeah, I can left click and drag until this line lines up with this, and let's do a custom width as well. Oh, what am I doing? It's too early for that. No, I'm sorry. No, we don't we don't want that. I actually wanted to click on the image. What's wrong here? I'm clicking on the images, but it's not working. Did I forget something? All right. See the depth? 396, 396, 396. We don't. The problem is the Z fighting. Okay. As you can tell, they all exist at the same depth, and if you try clicking on something in the scene view, it's gonna have a hard time trying to pick the right image. So what we do is we change the depth. We can change every one of these to something closer or further out, or we can just change the background to go further in. So let's do that. So while I have the Alt pressed, I just mouse wheel up and then take a look, and we're good. So now when I try and click on something, it actually shows it properly. Alright, back into 2D. Okay, so we can actually set the custom width. So it aligns with here, with this, and the actual the height of the button. Let's pretend like the top layout will actually handle that for us, and let's alter all of their heights at the same time by modifying the padding in our parent layout. So 3 by 3. Actually, make it 4. I like that. It looks good. Okay, so this space is actually supposed to be here. So let's go ahead and highlight that padding and move it where that's supposed to be. So right behind that. Alright, looking good. And of course you can add another padding here if you like, or you can modify the margins of the existing images. Either or whatever you choose. If it's just like a really small space, then margins I would say is better. If it's something that needs to expand as you shrink or grow, then margins are not gonna help there. So you use padding in that case. But padding with expand to fill set. If we want, we can also, let me collapse some of this. We can use some padding, a group in this case, so pad, and place it right in between. Except that's too much padding, and we don't want it to expand. We want it to stay constant, a constant width. So let's set it to a constant width, a custom width of that. That looks about right. That looks about good. Alright. So, what's next? The done button here. Alright, so before we set the actual width, let's make sure that we set the padding on the parent on the right hand side. So let's go about, no, that's too much. 4. Let's do 5 for the left and 5 for the right, just to stay consistent. Okay, now let's click on our image where the done button is going to be, and let's set its width to a custom width of what is that? Okay, fine. That's 50. But if I get in a little closer, I think whatever. I don't know. It's alright. What I'll probably wind up doing is using, oh look, this one is supposed to be an actual custom width as well. Right about there, I believe. There. Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. 70. This one's 70. I would think that there would be. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna make both of them 72 because I like to be consistent. All right. Even if it's not exactly the same as this. Alright, so what's next? Alright, so let's get this reference image out of the way. Okay, right about there. Doesn't have to be exactly on top of it. Okay, so what else do we have left to do? Well, you're probably thinking, oh man, I want to see what it actually looked like. But no worries. Let's just put it. Let's add a background to our body, and then we'll go from there. So let's go to image, make sure it's set as a background. Even though you probably can't tell the difference if it should be there or not. But yeah, I mean, for this would be this row and this row and this row and this row would all have their own layouts inside of this body. So let's say layout, 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 and layout, and this would be rows, correct? So if I take a look real quick, highlight these. But if this image, if we didn't set it as a background, then it would actually treat it as a child that it needs to actually size and position in its layout. so it plays it basically, so it plays nicely with all the other children.
Continued in next video.